Alrighty. Everybody, Steve here. Welcome back to The Varied Life. I'm Steve, the retired hobby tech guy, and today we're going to be taking a look at the battle of the 3D printers. The FDM printers, the Prusa, the Elegy? No, that's not right. It's Elegoo. There we go. It's the Elegoo Anycubic Creality, and asking the question, which one? This is really interesting because when we talk about 3D printing, even if you go back just 5 or 10 years, getting into 3D printing meant that you were going to tinker with your machine, you were doing more tweaking and adjusting the machine than actually printing. But as technology has advanced and 3D printing has come into more mainstream hobbyists, even people like myself, maybe not people like myself. I mean, I do some hobby stuff, resin printing, miniatures. Okay, so I'm a geek. But you have people that are crafters that are getting into 3D printing, and more people are like, hey, I see this person online making this cool stuff, and I want to do that too. And a lot of companies have come out and made it so user-friendly. Yeah, they just jump right in. And with the older machines, it was kind of a problem because it was like, a huge learning curve, the Z offset for the temperature of the bed and the retraction is wrong and blah, 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 and I need to heat sink my bed, level. How do I do that? There were so many different variables. The thing is, those variables are still there today, but a lot of those processes are automated. We have auto bed leveling. We have automated flow control with LiDAR assessment and, checking everything and changing stuff on the fly. We have input shaping. So when your machine is shaking because the print head is moving around and it's shaking the machine, it'll record and adjust those movements so that you get a good print. Before, it was like you had to have your machine on the floor or you had a big concrete, pad that it had to sit on to get the best stability. And there's all of that. Pavers at Home Depot and Lowe's were like, hey, so you're doing a sidewalk? No, I'm doing 3D printing and trying to, and leveling everything out. It really became a pain. But now we're getting to the place of the battle of the 3D printers, and I'm going over some companies, Prusa, Elegoo, Anycubic Creality, and to help highlight some of the information and also by price of what is good for you and your budget. So let's jump in and take a look at this. Boom! First one we're going to hit is the Prusa Core One. This is an interesting machine because it is battling against the, it's battling against the Bambu X1C. Bambu came onto the scene with their Kickstarter and they automated, they're kind of like the Apple of the 3D printing world. They really got into it, made it user-friendly. So basically anybody, even me, I could print stuff with those things. But with this machine, this is the answer from Prusa, which comes out of Europe, and they make all their machines on site, and they're a little pricey. Assembled, that's $12.34 in a kit form where you put everything together, which that can be a good thing, because then you get intimate knowledge of your printer. And so if something goes wrong and they say, and you find out through customer service, you need to replace or repair this or whatever, and they send you the parts, you won't be overwhelmed because you built it. And so you will have way more experience than the average person who buys a machine that doesn't put it together. And when it's told, hey, you need to replace this stepper motor or this board, those people are going to be freaking out like Christopher Titus and like, yeah, dysfunctional people, they won't know what to do. That's something there. The interesting thing about some of this is, and let's just go to the specs. Boom. We'll make this a little bit smaller. The specs for this machine, and again, we're talking about $1,000 or $1,200 for the Core One. This is new on the market. So far, it's getting good reviews. The small, compact space that it is, you still get a build area of 250 by 220 by 270. So you're kind of competing with the Bambu X1C, which is the king. Let's just say it's the king for now. And yeah, they're a little bit bigger build area, and you're going to get some great customer satisfaction out of this. The customer support, the technical support from Prusa is awesome. They have machines that they originally came out with. I think it's the Mark III, and you could even see it there, the Mark IV. They keep supporting those things, and they keep making firmware upgrades. They keep making those machines better. Even though the older machines are slower, they still service those things. They still, whereas other companies, it's like you click on some of their old machines and it's like you'll see firmware from 5-10 years ago. Yeah, they just kind of bricked them and you do what you want, and yeah, we're not going to support that anymore. It's hard to find parts. So Prusa is known for having great expandability. They upgrade a machine to another machine so that you don't have to be out of pocket and buy a new machine all the time. The same thing happens with, I think, their Mark series. You know, they went from one size to another. They had upgrade kits. It's really a great deal. So while you are paying a little bit more out of pocket for that, you're getting a lot in return in regards to technical support and future upgradability. So yeah, steel skeleton, assembled or kit, multi-material system upgrade is going to be coming out, which is going to be huge. That should have came out when this came out, but it is what it is. Chamber control heat, talking about max chamber temperature, 55 degrees Celsius or 131 Fahrenheit. I like that they put metric and freedom units in there. I appreciate that. Hot end, you can see 290, which is pretty hot. Nozzle style, 0.4 millimeters. And you go through some of the other stuff. It's a really, really nice machine. And you can do the firmware update through the USB, through their Connect, the mobile app. You can also hook it up in a variety of different ways, Wi-Fi, LAN, all that kind of stuff, and through their app. So you're not left high and dry or locked into a system, kind of like what Bambu did and pissed a lot of people off, saying, oh, this is for your safety, security. But if you don't hook up to our system, yeah, you're going to have problems. That's a whole big thing there. So yeah, great support, upgradability, ready to print profile settings using their filament and other filaments as well, the generic settings. But Prusa has gone the extra mile, and I think they are, they're just a really good company. I am really tempted to get the Core One, except for the price. Now, the other one that we're going to talk about, remember, this is about $1,000 on this baby here. 1234 assembled, $984 if it's a kit and you put it together. And now we're going to go over and we're going to look at Bambu. Reason that Bambu is second is because this is a little bit less expensive. They're P1S. And they also have their other machines like the P1P, X1C. So you're looking about $849 there. Let's take a look at some of their X series and pop that in there. And there is their Bambu Lab X1C, which is basically $1,200. You're looking at the same thing, basically an enclosed system. Core XY, 20,000 acceleration, 16 multi-color color printing, auto bed leveling, LiDAR, spaghetti detection, all that stuff. Velocity, 500 millimeters per second, flow rate of 32, which is, that's not bad. All of this good stuff. And I think it's 256 cubed for the build area. And these things just run like nobody's business. I was going to get an A1 or the Bambu A1 and wait for their new H2D to come out, and I was going to purchase that. But then they did that whole lockdown, you need to get authorized by us to use the machine that you bought from us. And if you don't, some services could be interrupted if you don't do the upgrades. And all future machines will require this. So I don't like that. that stance. I don't like that choice being taken away from me. But for some people, this might not be an issue. And if it isn't, we're looking at $1,200, and compared to the Prusa, which is a hefty price, they're basically the same. But as we looked previously, they also have the P1S, which is about $850. And what is the other one? The P1 series. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, their P1P, which is open gantry system, but their P1S is an enclosed system, $650. Works right out of the box. Again, a great system, and there's a lot of print farms with these things that use this. Again, I think this is a 256 cube. 256 cube build area. Another great machine. And as the H2D is coming out, what we're going to end up seeing is a drop in prices in some of these other machines. So if you're not one of those people that has to have the brand new machine the moment it comes out, and you're kind of like me, you wait a little bit, you can get some better pricing on the older machines, which are still fantastic, except for that authorization lockdown thing. I'm a little biased on that. The other new guy or new gal into the market is this one here, which is the Elegoo Centauri Carbon. Look at that price. $299, $300 pre-order. And we're looking at Core XY 500, 20K acceleration, 256 cube build area. Compared to, this here, the Bambu P1S, Elegoo Centauri, that looks like an awesome machine. Talk about saving money and trying to get some good stuff. The reviews on this are pretty good, same build area. Looks like an incredible machine, and especially since it gives you the opportunity to do so much with it, it looks really, really good. Core XY, full auto calibration, chamber camera, multiple colors, coming available in the third quarter of 2025. So their multi-material system is still due to be out. I hope their material system has 5 spools. If they do 5 spools, I think that will set them apart, and I don't know why everybody sticks to 4. I think if somebody did 5, that would just put them one leg up above everybody else. But yeah, some really good stats on this, and die-cast integrated design. You feel the smoothness. I mean, look at that before and after. Just some really cool stuff. Chamber camera, dual-sided flexible plate, which is pretty good, and fan check, power loss recovery, filament runout sensor, which a lot of these systems have as standard anyway. Heat bed nozzles, wiper, right side filament holder, and unfortunately, I think $299. That is insane. That is so tempting to get, just to have it, just because of the price point. Some of the reviews on this, so yeah, I'm very, very tempted to see if I can pick one of these up. But yeah, does this, and the one thing, ooh. Is that what I think it is on the front? Is that what I think it is? USB on the front. Yes! USB on the front. I kind of like the display panel to be up top. I'm kind of ruined by the K2 Plus, but I think as it sits down on the table, when that little display is down on the bottom, you have to, especially me with my old eyes, I have to, squint or whatever. I would rather have it up top. I think that's a better place, and with the little tilt screen, that's just a little personal preference. But I like the fact that they put the USB on the front. I'd rather the control panel be on the top there and the USB. All the power switches on all the machines are on the back. You have to do the reach around, can we get off of that? Can we get off of the reach around for turning on the power? I'm just tired of that. And I got to get rid of that because I printed that out. But I'm just tired of all that stuff, of having to reach around to turn the power on. The power button should be on the front. Where's the power button on my TV? It's on the front. Well, now it's on a remote everywhere, but everything else, I'm kind of old school. Record players, CD players, microwave ovens, all of these things, toasters, all of these things have power switches on the front, and so should 3D printers and resin printers. I just don't understand it. You know, you can put everything else up there, but then I got to reach around to do the power switch. I just don't get it. And at least they put the spool on the side instead of on the back. There were some companies, and that was kind of a complaint with a lot of people, is the spool holders were in the back, and so if you had a print farm, you'd have to pull the machine out, rotate it, boom, change the spool. It's so much nicer to have it on the side or have the option to put it on the top, which, you know, you do some mods and print some stuff, you probably could. So, but that's pretty good for $299 pre-order. Check out some of those videos, because that, I think, is going to come into play when people realize, you know, you can pay $600, $700 or $1,200 for, you know, the Bambu, $1,200 for the Core One. But the people that are kind of budget minded, they see the Centauri Carbon, they're going to jump on that. So if Elegoo supports this the way they should, and this performs as advertised and what we've seen in initial videos, this could be a great machine. Another one to take a look at around this same thing is the Anycubic Kobra S1 combo. Again, everybody's trying to compete with the Bambu, so Anycubic came out with their S1 combo. The combo of their machine, their build area is a little bit smaller. It's 250 cubed, but it has the multi-material system. So buy once and you're done for $600. So now you look at this, you know, the Centauri Carbon might go up after the pre-order, I'm imagining, and then with a multi-material system is what, $200-300. You're probably going to be around this, but I think Anycubic pulled the trigger on this and kind of wanted to jump ahead of the competition. I think this is going to work in their favor. So yeah, and the printing speed is up to 600 millimeters a second, which I've gone on and I've talked about this on how your speed, your top speed on all this stuff, everybody advertises their top speed. But when you look at your actual print, you'll see in the long straightaways, yeah, you'll get some speed, maybe 250, 300-ish, somewhere around there. But then it has to slow down when it gets to curves and corners and stuff like that. So you're not going to be printing at one speed of 300 millimeters per second all the time. No, it's going to fluctuate depending on the model that you're printing. And even then, there is that variable of speed and quality. The more you increase the speed, the lower your quality goes down until it's unacceptable. And then conversely, the other way around, you can go so slow that you get some really awesome quality, but then it doesn't really make a difference and it just takes a long time to print your model. So yeah, take that into consideration as well. But I mean, this looks like a pretty good machine as well. 256, 8-color printing. I think and I think they do the 4-spool just because it will fit on top of the machine. But if you did a 5-spool, I think that would be good. Color printing, ASA, ABS, PLA, PLA+, PETG, all that good stuff. Fully enclosed, 44 decibels, which is pretty good. My Anycubic, or not my Anycubic, but my Creality K2+, we're looking at about 50, mid-50s, maybe high 50s when it's printing. And I think the CFS is actually a little bit louder than that, but still it's below talking level that I'm talking to you now. So the cool thing is it looks like printer and dryer. Look at that. It's not only a filament dryer, it is a filament heated dryer, which is huge. I think that really is going to set this apart, because already you have like the Creality K2+, things like that. It has the filament dryer and it has the hydrometer on there and you can read the humidity, but it doesn't have a heater. And some people have already outfitted their CFS with an aftermarket little heater that you could get for like resin heating. So I'm seriously considering that. But to do this, and that was the thing that I was like, hey, why didn't Creality throw in a dryer? Anycubic did, and I think that's going to be big. Because right now you're going to have people like me that have to modify a system, or you're going to buy a filament dryer heater, which I did, the Space Pi. But coming right out of the box, you get the machine, you get the dryer and the heater, and yeah, it's going to be a thing. So Core XY, all of that good stuff. This looks like a really good machine as well. I like that the display is on the top. Imagine that. What are the odds? Quiet print mode as low as 44 decibels. Standard print mode as low as 46. So in other words, you're looking at probably about the 50s, low 50s, mid 50s. But even then, if you pull out your phone and you do the decibel testing, and I'll show you what I'm talking about, because people are like, oh, decibels and this and that. And it's like, if you look at how things go, let me see, where is it? Decibel meter. dB meter, where are you? dB. There it is. It says dB. So when we're looking right here in normal speaking voice, we're looking at the mid 60s, high 60s, into 70s, stuff like that. So this is a normal speaking voice in which I would be talking, and it works out pretty well. So when you're looking at a 3D printer and anything that's below your normal speaking voice, I'd say that's totally acceptable in most living situations. So something to keep in mind with that. Yeah, some very interesting stuff. Let's continue to take a look. Spaghetti detection, belt power loss, resume. That combo looks pretty good. For $750, that's not bad. $500, we can see the prices there just for the Kobra S1 is $550. And your build area is a little bit smaller, but there's people that have used like the Bambus with 256 cube that build entire cosplay Iron Man suits. They just cut up the models in their slicer and they print it, and boom. Yeah, it takes a little bit longer. So it is what it is. 250 by 250. So yeah, that's not bad. That is not bad at all, especially with that multi-material system heater dryer combo. That is something. If we're talking about the budget is a little bit lower, what we're looking at now is the Elegoo Centauri by itself without the enclosure. It's just kind of like the bare bones frame system of $199. So basically $200. And you're still getting that Core XY with 500 millimeters per second with a velocity of 20K. Build area 256 cubed. Yeah, it is going to be good. We got, all right, greetings, Steve. I have agreed to the price of $299. Is excellent. Yes, I mean, that's entirely doable. That's I can find change in the couch, I can sell plasma, and I can end up getting, a pretty decent machine. So this is a pre-order for $200. That is not bad at all. And when you look through, let's make this so we can get it into frame. Again, you're getting some of the core features that you would, but it's just not going to be enclosed. So really, you're going to be printing with PLA. Let's see, still has power loss, fan check, auto filament loading, filament run out, memory, cutters, all of that stuff. And what is this ends up? Let's see, auto leveling. So PLA, PETG, TPU, ABS, ASA, but I think you would have to have an enclosure on that. That would be interesting because I know you have to have higher temperatures. Maybe you could do it. I don't know. But you could definitely get this and then buy a little enclosure off of Amazon and boom, there's your enclosure. Or you could just cut out some wood and frame it in and boom, there's your enclosure for cheap. But for $200, that is not a bad deal as well. But since we're also talking about an open frame system like this, for $200, the Centauri from Elegoo, we got to go back to Creality. So Creality, we take a look. There is the Creality High combo. The High combo is $370, and you're getting the bed slinger machine. It kind of combats or competes against the Bambu A1 and A1 Mini machines, which that whole thing, they did their Mini first and then they came out with the A1, and people were kind of pissed off about that. So that left a bad taste in people's mouth because it's like, ooh, Bambu machine, the A1 Mini, and then they released the A1, which is a little bit better. So yeah, that kind of, some people did that. So, but if you're looking at the Creality High in itself, $369, so $370. But for the combo, we're looking at $519. If we're looking for, boom, let's get it, high combo. No, that's not what we want. Go back. Technical difficulties in my brain. But yeah, for the Creality High, what we end up seeing here is $370. For the combo, it's $519. So that's not a bad deal as well. When you look at the Centauri, I don't know, Centauri beats that price like a dead horse, and twice on Sunday. So again, it's a bed slinger. There are some videos that I've seen that they have some initial problems with this, with their material system and the printer itself. Of course, firmware upgrades, and it's kind of the thing in 3D printing is that it's not like buying a car that works as soon as it comes off the lot. Hands-off calibration, 95% assembled. All metal body, fast printing, CFS. Again, you're having that, but it has RFID tagged filaments, which is great because on the Creality, like my K2 Plus, you have your spool. It has an RFID. I put that into the CFS system. It automatically knows the color and the temperatures and all the settings for that filament. So it's kind of a nice thing. Yeah, you can put in third-party filaments. You have to enter in the information. It's not that big of a deal. But the convenience is very nice, I have to admit. Dual lead screws, just kind of a basic bed slinger, but I've talked to somebody, who was that girl's name? There was somebody who's on my video that I was doing a live stream, and she said she picked this up and it was doing really, really well. So, yeah. Looks really good. Foldable screens, got camera, boot up quick start guide, the whole 9 yards. Stylish. Active input shaping, which is always good. Metal extruder gears, awesome. Automated filament cutter, which is good. Bed leveling sensor, good. Nozzle design, clog free. They're all clog free. I've never seen a company say, oh, we have clog nozzles that tend to clog. They're all clog free. Quick swap nozzles, which is nice. Tri-metal nozzle, hardened steel, which is good because that allows you to print a variety of materials. Titanium alloy heat break blocking heat creep, copper alloy nozzle body heating up quickly. Yes. Run out sensor. Yep, that's good. And again, the speed and all that. Creality print's not that bad. I use it on a Mac and I'll still get the flashing thing. But you can use their cloud. You can print straight from the printer itself. And then I think you can use Orca Slicer and other stuff like that. So yeah, not a bad system at all for that price. So really when we're talking about, that's $369 just for the printer itself. If you're going to get the combo, then that's going to come down to $519. I don't know why this goes to the K2 Plus. They're really pushing the K2 Plus, which is a nice machine, in my opinion. So there are a number of options that you could do for 3D printing. We're talking about Prusa around the 1234. You're talking about the Bambu. I should probably add that in there. Bambu. Yep, probably put the Prusa, the Bambu, the Elegoo, the Anycubic Creality. Which one do we choose? It kind of depends on what you want to print and your budget. Of course, that's going to come into play. For a lot of people way back in the day, having a 3D printer used to be a concern because the printers were big. But now you can get small printers that do awesome and incredible jobs. They used to be relegated to basements and garages, but now they're made to the point of where it looks like an appliance, and you could put it in your home office, in your bedroom, and things like that. And it looks nice. It's not janky like some of the old machines, you know. So the good thing is you got to know what you want to print and what you want to do with it, the materials that you're going to be using, and maybe you want to do certain materials later on. Take that into consideration. That's what I ended up doing. I'm kind of the buy once, cry once. And so you get to the point of where, am I going to do ASA or ABS or, carbon fiber? Probably not, but just in case, yeah, I want all the bells and whistles that I can get. And if I don't use them, great. But if I do, and I run across something and say, hey, I really want to print this out, or I want to do this side business thing, but it ends up, it's like, no, now I have to buy another printer. Yeah, now you got to buy another printer. But in all honesty, I bought my K2 Plus, and while I can do all those things, and I'm printing something out right now, I'm like, I can't print anything because my one printer is occupied, and it's like crack. You just can't do one line. You just can't do just one shot. You got to go back for more. So that's why I'm considering on maybe getting another machine. And that, oh man, I tell you, that Elegoo Centauri looks good at that price range. That looks really good. But then I'm also torn between the Prusa Core One with the longevity of their support and upgradability. So just like you could upgrade an old Prusa machine from Mark III to a Mark IV and Mark IV to a Mark IV, whatever they've got now, you could get an upgrade kit instead of having to just throw out the machine and have to spend more money. So yeah, there's some considerations there. But with the prices of the Centauri Carbon, the Anycubic, especially with their heater dryer assembly on that machine for $600, and Elegoo needs to come out with their multi-material system, and which they should have done before. Yeah, they really kind of dropped the ball on that one. But, it'll come back around. But I think if they come out with their multi-material system that has a heater dryer system, they'll be back in the running. But I think with so many people that are being made aware of 3D printing, and they see that they can get a combo package that does everything for them, the printer, the multi-material system, the heater dryer combo, boom, all in one package, people are going to jump on that, and they will use it for a number of years. There's always those weird geeks that have to have the new machine. They have like 15 or 20 machines, and they don't do a business. They're just geeking out on all this stuff, and that's totally cool. But then there's people like me that it's like, I want to buy a good machine. I'm going to use it for a long time. For example, my resin printer is a Saturn III Ultra. I've been using that thing to death. And even though there's a lot of great machines that have come out after the Saturn III Ultra that I would really like to buy, I'm going to keep using it until it dies. And I think people are getting to the point now of whoever is able to entice customers to buy that thing, they will keep that thing for multiple years because the majority of people are not massive geeks. So they're going to get a hold of that. And then, it's whoever gets, wow, cool. That Centauri Carbon, man, it is tempting. It is very tempting, especially for that price point. I mean, really, wow. That is just, I am really, really, what date is it? It's the 23rd. Maybe I'll order that. Don't tell my wife. Yeah, maybe I'll order that. And hey, what's this? I don't know. It just showed up. I get to review it. But then she would see the money being put out of the account. But what's this for? Yeah, another machine. But you already have one. And it's that whole, unless your spouse is a geek too and into 3D printing or whatever, you'll run into this. It's like, well, you bought a printer. And I'm like, yeah, but I want a FDM printer. And she's like, well, can't you print what you want to print on the resin printer? The resin printer uses resin. Well, this uses filament and plastic thread. And she just rolls her eyes and just shakes her head at me. And it's like, yeah. So buying another machine would be like, but the price. But Anycubic with that heated system, the only thing I don't like about that is it's a smaller build area, 250 cubed versus 256. So really 6 millimeters, we're going to be complaining about that. I guess I am. So yeah, congratulations, Todd, on that. And that will, let us know how that goes. Yeah, just some good stuff. With that being said, there's a lot of people that don't like the 3D printers because there's a bunch of problems and they make us the beta testers. In some facts, that's absolutely true. We do a lot of testing for the companies and then they fix it and, then they move on. So all companies need to do a better job of that. I think Bambu and Prusa are the best at it. I think Prusa is actually the best. They got better ratings than Bambu. They're pretty low. But I think companies, if they really, really focused on that, that would help them maintain their position or even advance their position with customers. Let's see. Fitness Freak says, picked up Creality Ender 3B3 for $180 for my first printer the other week and have loved it. Very useful, and I've actually have it printing off something right now. Awesome. I'm printing out something too. I just finished up printing. Well, I did a number of things. I did a desk and holder. I did another. Paintbrush tray, which I ended up doing. That came out really nice. No supports needed for this, so I did that. What else did I end up doing? I did another version of that. I did a desiccant holder for the K2 Plus to hold a bunch of desiccant in the CFS system, and that's already brought down the humidity in the CFS system, which doesn't have a heater, which I'm thinking about maybe doing that. Down, 2 or 3%. So and that was like a couple hours after I put it in. So I'm expecting to get single digit humidity in my CFS system. But with PLA, it's not that big of a deal. So yeah, that, very interesting. Yeah. So, the last call, Anycubic, the Centauri Carbon, when does that, it doesn't say how long the pre-order is for. Estimated shipping before 31 July. So we got a few months. So some pre-order spare parts, accessories, PLA, CF filament, ship between April 30th and August 15th. Please refer to product page for details. Okay, so yeah, so many things that are there that we could end up looking at. And yeah, go for it. Yes. For that price and quality, go for it. You're tempting me. Away from me, Satan. But yeah, it's the interesting thing is now we're getting to the point in 3D printing where we're getting pretty much the same quality on prints. If you look at Aurora Tech Channel and even companies, all of these companies, and then like Kidi, they're all getting pretty much the same quality of prints. And even with the newer machines, they might be a little bit behind on the quality. But as we've seen in past, machines that they've done and companies come out with more firmware, they upgrade all of that stuff, that really these machines are getting better and better. So, yeah, it's really hard to nail down and choose. And so I think that's why we have the price war. And I think, Elegoo with their Centauri Carbon, they're really going to they're going to upset the apple cart a little bit from Bambu because of that price point is so low. So, but yeah, it's just that multi-material system would be nice. But then it's probably only going to be a few $100s because really, what does their materials, accessories, parts? I'm looking at. I don't think they have a multi-material system. Elegoo multi-material system. Let's see what that pops up. I don't know. We'll have to look into that. So, yeah, it ends up just so many things that you could end up buying and so many options. But when you start narrowing down what you want in regards to, build size, build area, what things you're going to print or not print, with slicers, you can cut your models up if they're bigger than the build area. So that's not really a concern. But yeah, for the price points we're seeing now, a lot of people are getting into 3D printing. So hopefully this will help you kind of take a look and evaluate and see what's out there. And through that mix of budget and features and build area and quality, you will be able to, pick a printer that would be good for you and your choice. So that's going to be it for today. I thought that was kind of interesting, going over all this stuff. And just let me warn you, if you get into 3D printing and you think, oh, well, I'm just going to buy a combo unit and I'm not going to buy anything else. No, it's like crack. You're going to buy filament. You're going to need a subscription for filament. I need filament, put it in here. And then, the filament dryers, if you don't have a combo that does that. And then, some spare parts, you're going to do that. And then you're going to be all set up and you're going to do your mods and you think you're going to be good. And then as that is printing some huge thing, you're going to want to print something else and you're going to buy a second machine or a third machine or a fourth machine. And it just never ends. Don't tell my wife, please. Shh, don't tell her. She doesn't need to know. It's going to happen, but I don't want to tell her. Because every hobby I get into is like, so you're buying this gun and that's expensive. And then, and then all of a sudden you need a holster and then you magazines and then you need new sights and then you need a flashlight and then a laser and this and that and all kinds of stuff. It is just guaranteed every single hobby that you can do besides whittling. Well, even whittling, there's a plethora of knives and tools that you could do. I don't think there's anything. There's no hobby. There's always something more that you have to buy. And Matt says 1,000%. Yes, it's crack, and you will buy stuff. You will buy more stuff. So yeah, and for the people that are wondering, the people that already have printers, you know what I'm talking about. But for the people that don't have 3D printers, if you're watching this, there's tons of free files on printables, on Creality Cloud, on Maker World, there's so many different sites that have so many different models for free that you don't have to pay for those, thank God. At least, but even then, you'll find some really cool stuff that does cost some money, but it's not bad compared to everything else. It's still a drop in the bucket. So that's where we end up going and talking about all of these, the battle of the 3D printers. Who is going to pull ahead? I don't know. It'll be interesting. Some of these companies should have come out with things at the same time. They didn't. It's going to come out later. Bambu, how are they going to do with their H2D, their big thing with the laser and a whatever? I'm not really sure about that. And they say that their system can print, way faster or whatever. Their H2D has 2 print heads, so if you're doing that, that might be a good thing. But if you're really into multi-material printing or, multicolor system, you're going to go with like a Prusa XL anyway. So it comes down to, so 2 is 1 and 1 is none. Exactly. 100%. That is exactly the way it is when you get into hobbies. Yeah, so it is what it is. So anyway, it'll be interesting to see what happens. And then some future stuff for this channel. I'm still interested in laser engraving too. I haven't done that in a while because I got that little rinky-dink thing. But I'm thinking about getting a laser engraver, possibly a diode galvo laser system from Raleigh Lasermatics or Automatics or whatever. Raleigh Lasermatic system. That's going to be really interesting. Of course, that's going to cost some money, so that'll be later on down the road. But still interested in doing that, and I definitely want to do a large cosplay. That's on my bucket list, is do a large cosplay thing, and I'm thinking about a 40K Karn, whatever, massive dude. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, have fun. You got to learn to have fun, and that's what I found as I've retired. You got to get your creativity. You got to learn that it's okay to have fun as an adult. And for some of us, that was hard to do. But I really enjoy this. It keeps me busy. I like it, and I enjoy it. And it's been fun. And for the other people that print in here, they'll tell you the same thing as well. Okay, so that is going to be it. The video's almost done. If you have questions, concerns, there's the email address. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate that because it helps with the the YouTube algorithm and the Elegoo God. We'll just call the YouTube algorithm God Elegoo, the Elegoo God. And then if you really appreciate it, you can always buy me a coffee. These people are awesome because they have bought me coffee. There's a link in the description box as well. If not, no biggie. Just like and subscribe. If you have any tips, tricks, suggestions, put them in the comments section. Put them in an email. Shoot them to me. I have read every single email that I get from people, even the crazy people. So, and I've got a few of those, but I've answered them back. So we're going to leave it at that. And with that, it is 10 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, the 23rd, and we're going to go out. We're going to hit a coffee shop. We're going to go to a bistro. We're going to get some lunch, travel around here in Korea, and we're going to have a good time. So we're going to let you go and do what you need to do, and I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And we'll see you on the next video. Peace.